Welcome back to The Reset. I am Shaun Tucker, human performance scientist and authority architect. We are here in the living lab today, documenting the struggle, the science, and the shift for every high performance dad, as well as founder, who's ready to really bridge the gap between their ambition and their presence. Today, we're going to get into the topic of what used to take months and years to do can now be done in days. It's absolutely crazy. And this is all to help you master the man underneath the performance. So, what do I mean by that? What used to take months and years can now be done in days. I can only reflect this on my own experience of the last 6 months. At the start of the year, 116 episodes actually ago, I decided to make a bold commitment and say, I'm going to start a podcast and I'm going to film an episode every single day for the next 6 months at least. And it wasn't even, I didn't start on the 2nd of January. So it hasn't been quite 6 months just yet. But we're 116 episodes in, and just the results of being consistent, showing up every single day, have been actually quite mind-boggling. And I share that because it's not what I expected. And it's not even probably what you're expecting either. Has it paid me massive amounts of money? Not yet. But in terms of the results that I've got, I'm blown away because it's opened up opportunities and doorways that I didn't even think existed. And just the amount of inertia that it's cleared off my system has been insanely transformative in that alone. And what I mean by that is using some of the tools that I've used over the last 6 months. So the things that I've used are agents in tools like Manus and using ChatGPT and using all these wonderful tools like Riverside as well, where I'm hosting this platform where you're actually seeing this or listening to this through Riverside. You're probably not clicked on to Riverside platform itself, but the thing is it's distributing. It's taking care of the distribution, which means I pay a subscription to use this service. I record it once and it is distributed across many, many channels. I then use the platform to take a short clip of what I said during the episode and I post that on social media, because social media is short form content and what I'm recording here is obviously long form content. And I guess the reps count, right? 115 episodes in, not counting the ones that I've done on obviously other podcast series, but it's probably upwards of another 50 on top of that. Practice makes progress, and that progress sharpens your tools. And you start to understand what it is you really want through practice. At the start, you're kind of learning. You're learning how you can use it, what ways you can sort of figure out how to use it. And I think one of the most powerful things you can do is just get the reps in and then look back, take the feedback in. First of all, just put it out there. You don't know what you're going to get back, and be open to what you get back as well. Because I've had people reach out to want to be guests on the podcast. I've had people from India and Southeast Asia and even America reach out to me and say, hey, I can help you optimize your channel on YouTube, which, as you know, which I've just said, YouTube is not my number one distribution platform. It's not where my audience necessarily lives. I don't know exactly where my audience lives just yet. But in short, it's like you don't know where you're going to find your people until you put yourself out there. And there is this kind of rule of one, which you may have heard of, which is focus on one platform and just optimize it through there. But I kind of see it a little bit differently. And this is what I'm going to get into, because with Manus, with ChatGPT, with Claude, everybody's talking about Claude at the moment. There are ways you can speed up your workflow. And if you have more time on your hands, technically you have more mind space too. Because your capacity, or my capacity, I should say, which relates to your capacity, will increase if you have more time to think about what it is you really want. And when you have more space, when you have people around you who give you helpful feedback, you're able to take that space and create something new. And I've had a book on my mind for probably the last 4 years, I would say. I didn't really know what it was going to be called. I just knew that part of me wanted to write a book. Part of me wanted to put all the stories together and make it a transformation portal or doorway for the person I want to help to step through, aka the reader. And what I did last weekend was I used one of these tools as my ghostwriter to take all of my stories, to take all of my philosophies, and basically help me structure it. So all in all, I wrote my book that has been sitting at the back of my mind for the last 4 years. I wrote it in one weekend. And it wasn't even a full weekend. It was probably 4 hours in total because I've already done all the pre-work. And that's, I guess, the preparation is it only takes one moment to get it right. It only takes one moment to get enlightened, but you might be waiting lifetimes for that one moment. And that's the thing, is now we have so much access to things that can give us time and space. And you don't need a lot of resources to make it happen either. You just need to know how to use them. Take away what you will from this episode, but it's not so much about becoming more lazy. The way I use some of these tools is to actually help me think bigger. All of those things that have been put at the back of my mind, or it's too hard right now, I need a team to do that. I can do them now. There's no reason why I can't do them now, because what used to take months and years is now happening in days or hours. And that is crazy, right? That is absolutely crazy. There's never been a time in history where that's been possible. And so I actually would love to ask you, what would you love to create in this world that would help people, that would help you impact more people? Because that's what these tools allow you to do if you allow them to do it with you, is you can amplify your impact. You can scale your impact because you are the human. You are the driver. The AI agent isn't the driver. It's your co-pilot. You're directing it. Don't let it direct you. And I think that's the problem that a lot of people are using it with. They're using it to direct them. Probably because they're a little bit too stressed out about what's happening in their life. And so I don't blame them. I don't blame you if that's you. But all I ask is maybe just sit back for a second and ask, am I driving this or is it driving me? Because if the latter is true, if it's driving you, I would say take a pause. Simply stop. I think one of the best things I did in the last few months was I stopped and ceased all of my subscriptions except for this one, Riverside. I stopped my Spotify, I just stopped my ChatGPT, I stopped all the AIs I was using, just so I could have some space to realize what was important and the ones that are actually useful for where I'm at. Because we kind of get into a habit of having these things, and it's like a gym membership that you don't use. The fact that you might use it, aka keyword might, which means you probably never will. But next week comes around, Monday comes around, you're like, oh, I might try and go next week. You know, that's where they make a lot of their money, right? Is subscriptions that you never use. So keep that in mind. And it doesn't hurt to just stop, take a pause, and realize what's important. So I don't know what you're going to take away from this episode, but if you take away something great, share it with one friend. Share this episode with a friend just so they can maybe take some value away from it too. And if you want some help knowing which tools can do what for you, then reach out. I'd love to have a chat about, what it is you're building and what it is you would love to build. Thanks so much for tuning in. That brings us to the end of the episode. And if you're ready to stop being a passenger in your own life and start being the architect of your legacy, make sure you reply to this podcast episode with the word reset, and I'll send you the 7-day reset guide. Remember, most people wait for their life to change. We're here architecting the choice. Change your state, choose how you show up. I am Shaun Tucker. I'll see you in the next one.